Well then, there's been a lot of questions and worry about the status of Amanda Staveley at Newcastle United. But part of this video is going to put everyone's mind at rest and try and explain a little bit about what's going on, what's written in the press and how it's all working. Because Amanda Staveley, quite frankly, is going to be here for years to come, guys. She really will. Her heart, her soul is dedicated into this football club. Selling of the shares was always going to happen, but we will take a look at that in more detail. Also today, Callum Wilson videoed back in training. That's a positive. And is Martin Dubravka unhappy with his current role at the club? We'll also take a look at that. But thank you very much for watching today's video, guys. My name's Paul. Welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel. And obviously, we'll start off with that headline, Amanda Staveley to leave, ? No. Now, look. She's going absolutely nowhere, guys. She is selling some of her shares off, but this was always going to happen. And Amanda even said this at the takeover, that she would be selling some of her shares as time went on. Now, as Newcastle United grow as a company, obviously Amanda's shares grow in worth. And she's making money that way by selling off her shares for a profit to what she initially bought them for. That is how business works. That is how a businesswoman like Amanda Staveley works. And quite frankly, you know, that's fine. You know, no issues there at all. You know, you have to look further into this to find out what's actually going on, because the shares that she's selling, as I say, are to make profit. Now, she has been removed as a director from certain companies in the Newcastle United or under the Newcastle United umbrella. The dormant companies that no longer sort of trade, if you like. When the takeover happened, obviously, you know, the likes of PIF, Amanda, etc., they took control of Newcastle United Football Club. And under Newcastle United Football Club is a whole host of other businesses, other companies, other listed companies. And what Companies House has explained is that Amanda and Jamie Rubin have been removed from these dormant companies, not Newcastle United Football Club. And I think that's a very important thing to remember, guys, that not Newcastle United Football Club. She's still a major part of it. Yes, she's selling some of her shares off. That is to make a profit, as you do in business. Anybody that goes into business will want to make a profit, just like Amanda Staveley. PIF are the main money givers to Newcastle United. They are the main owners of Newcastle United. They pump the money in. You know, if we look at transfers and things like that, it's not Amanda Staveley. Her wealth and Jamie Rubin's wealth, in fairness, is nowhere near. In fact, completely nowhere near what PIF is worth. And PIF are the company that is pouring money into Newcastle United. Not Amanda Staveley, not Jamie Rubin. Jamie Rubin's shares have actually gone, he's got more shares within the football club. But these dormant companies now that Newcastle United, I guess, are trying to eradicate, get rid of under this Newcastle United umbrella, that is how it's working with Amanda Staveley and Jamie Rubin. So there's blind panic being across social media. Oh, Amanda's leaving, Amanda's this, Amanda's that. She's not. She's going to be part of Newcastle United for a long time to come, guys. She mentioned that she would be selling shares as the club grew. That is only right to make money back on an investment. That is the way business works, guys. However, you know, she's still going to be the face of Newcastle United. Let's be honest, since the takeover, all right, we've got a chairman, etc., but Amanda Staveley has been, and Mairdad to a certain degree, have been the face of Newcastle United. They've been with the new signings. We've seen in the documentary how much work they put into the new signings, to the sponsorships, to everything. They are on call all the time to speak to other members of staff regarding everything Newcastle United. And I think people need to realise that and stop panicking, because it's blind panic, as it usually is, and sometimes rightly so. You know, Newcastle hear a story about their owners and they're like, oh my God, you know, what's going to happen with Amanda Staveley? Nothing. She's going to be around for years to come, guys, and you know, long may it continue, because everybody absolutely loves the woman. And don't forget, she's currently still negotiating with Manchester United regarding the compensation deal with Dan Ashworth. Now, that looks to be around 15 million quid. And to get 15 million quid for somebody who doesn't have a playing role at a football club, I think that's a remarkable piece of business for Newcastle United. You know, yes, Dan Ashworth, you know, he could do this, he could do that. We never really saw it at Newcastle United, a little bits and bobs. But there's other people out there, as we'll see in the future, to come in and do just as good, if not better job than Dan Ashworth. So I'm not particularly worried about that either. Now, being the face of the club, Amanda has to do a lot more than just sort of go through signings and things like that. Look what she's done for the women's team. It's fabulous. It's absolutely incredible. The women's team is now a full-time outfit. They've just been promoted into the championship. The next league up from there is, of course, the Women's Super League, which is where Newcastle United belong and is where they're going to be heading, because you can guarantee that Newcastle United will pump money into the women's team this summer and get a squad available that will be ready to challenge for that championship next season. You guaranteed that. They won't sit back on the laurels and just wait for something to happen. Newcastle United and their owners, led by Amanda Staveley, will plough money into that and get them to a position where they can challenge for the league title again and move into the Super League. The Super League has always been the dream, not just of Amanda, but obviously Becky and the lasses themselves. And it could quite happen very soon, guys. Just see what happens. Now, I don't want to say too much more about Amanda because, people are really panicking about this, but I don't see... hopefully to my subscribers and viewers, I've explained the situation. It's the dormant companies that she's been removed from, not the football club. And I think, you have to take a wide angle look and think Newcastle United, look on the internet, it'll say how many, little companies there are under the umbrella of Newcastle United Football Club. Those are the ones that she's been removed from. Dormant companies, as they say in the press. Dormant, which means not doing anything. So there's no point being on there. I just wanted to come on and do a video about Amanda and just say, let's just chill out. She's going nowhere. She's going to be the face of Newcastle United for a long time to come. And God, I hope that's years and years. I really do, because she's been a breath of fresh air for this football club. She really has. Now, it's been reported that striker Callum Wilson is now back in training with Newcastle United. We've seen video proof of that as well. But the media kind of think, headlining it as in, Callum Wilson's in contention to start the game against Crystal Palace in a week's time. No, he's not. There's no way Eddie Howe will start Callum Wilson over Isak. The way Isak's playing at the moment, yes, they're very, very different strikers. Absolutely 100% they are. However, Isak is on a goal scorer and run at the minute. His form is sky high. And we all as fans think that this guy's got yet another gear to go. So there's no way Callum Wilson, who's been out for weeks, comes straight back in. Absolutely no chance. But what he is good is the fact that he's got another option on the bench, Eddie Howe, now. If he brings on Callum Wilson for a tire and Isak, Wilson plays a little bit differently. It gives us a different option. So if Isak does tire through the game, he's got that option on the bench to bring on another striker, which he hasn't had in a long, long time. Now, I don't particularly expect Callum Wilson to be at Newcastle United next season. So he's kind of got to put himself in the shop window a little bit. Not that he's not really proved that he's an out-and-out striker, because we all know that. But he now has to stay fit till the end of the season, because if he gets injured again, then he's, who's going to look at him? That's the important thing. And me as a fan, I'm sitting here thinking, how many times have we seen this headline? Oh, Wilson's back in training, Wilson's back in the team, and we all get mega excited about the situation. And then a week or two later, Wilson out 6 to 7 weeks. And that's been it's been the tradition. It's always happened, certainly this season, where he's played a few games and he's out for more than he's been playing. So I can't really get excited about it, but what it does do, as I say, is give us that option on the bench for Eddie Howe to maybe change things up if at Palace, should we need it. But let's just wait and see. But it's good news. It's another player back from injury. But I think Callum Wilson's going to be putting himself in the shop window for the remainder of the season. But that's the big question. Can he actually stay fit? And finally, I think this is going to pay off a lot of Newcastle United fans. As you can see by the headline there, Dubravka is unhappy with his current role. Now, we knew that when Dubravka came in for Nick Pope, that as soon as Pope is fit again, he will come in as number one, no matter how well Dubravka has played. However, Dubravka, for me, is not a number one goalkeeper. He's a very good shot stopper. He's coming off his line and catching crosses a bit more lately, but his decision-making is nothing short of shambolic. He's like a tractor in reverse coming off his line, and he's nervous coming off his line. If there's a through ball, he comes, he stops, he goes back, he does the hokey-cokey, he tries to come out again. The decision-making is terrible, and that gives the forwards a lot of options when they're attacking on goal with Dubravka, and it gives the defence the shakies, because they see a ball coming over the top or through the middle, and they're thinking, right, we've got to get this ball because we don't know if Dubravka's going to be there. Whereas Nick Pope, we know the sweeper-keeper kind of game he plays. Any ball over the top, he's there to clear the danger 9 out of 10 times. But with Dubravka, it's about 1 out of 10 times, and it puts that shakiness in the defence straight away. And I find it a little bit offensive, actually, that he's come out in an interview and said that he's unhappy at his current role. Because he had a lot of making up to do to the Newcastle United fans, of course, with that Man United saga. When he went on loan there, the tweets he was putting out about Manchester United, and then he comes back to Newcastle and he gets the number one position back through Nick Pope's injury. But quite frankly, you know, he had a lot to do to, I don't know, maybe just make up to the Newcastle United fans after all that. But I still think there's a little bit of gripe with the Newcastle United fans with Dubravka. He's not completely forgiven for what happened. And I guess we all know that he wants to leave the club. I mean, we expect Dubravka to leave in the summer along with Karius. Newcastle have stated that they are probably going to be looking to strengthen the goalkeeper role in the summer. So it doesn't really mean that Nick Pope's going to be number one next season. I expect he will be. But if we spend a lot of money on a goalkeeper, then that goalkeeper's probably going to come in as number one. So Dubravka goes down the pecking order. But I don't know what he's on about saying he's unhappy with his current role. He knew the situation when he came back from loan from Manchester United, what the situation was. He was always going to be number two. And, you know, he's lucky he's got a run in the team because of what happened to Nick Pope. But coming out and saying things like that isn't going to really help him with Newcastle United fans. Especially if he makes any mistakes between now and whenever Nick Pope comes back. Because I think Nick Pope, as soon as he comes back, he's back in the team. He's the number one goalkeeper. And I don't think it matters how well Dubravka plays between now and Pope coming back. I think it's just a fact that Nick Pope will be number one when he does come back. But if he makes a mistake, and we all see these comments coming out from Dubravka that he's not happy at the club, everyone's just going to say, well, if you're not happy, sod off. You know, just go. Stop making excuses. See if you can get another club. You know, you're coming to that back end of your career now when it's going to be very, very difficult to find another club. But go ahead. Go and find one, pal. You know, so I'm a little disappointed with Dubravka coming out with that because I think he should just be getting his head down and concentrating on the rest of the season for Newcastle or however many games he's got before Nick Pope comes back. But let me know in the comments about Dubravka. What are your feelings on him? Has he restored your faith since he came back from Man United? Or are you still on the fence with him, or do you just think he's not good enough full stop anyway and hasn't got any right to come out and say he's unhappy with his role at the club? Let me know what you think. But there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, do stick a like on it. Very important that we continue those likes to come in so that fellow fans like yourselves can find us in the search results. And of course, if you are new and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. But don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload any videos such as this one, or we schedule in our live shows. And speaking of live shows, if you're watching this on Wednesday afternoon, 7 o'clock tonight, How Are the Lasses with me and Sam. A couple of really good special guests coming on. We're going to celebrate the title for Newcastle United, have a look back at the 10-0 win. We'll also discuss what's going to happen in the summer, the building that Becky's got to do with the team, and of course hear a lot from our guests tonight. So that is at 7 o'clock. Don't miss it. The Lasses team is really growing in popularity now, and hopefully we can help that by doing a regular weekly show for the Lasses. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Take care.